What's up YouTube? Moose coming at you once again with another unboxing. Today we are looking at the BMW R12 with Sidecar, the military version from IBG models. So let's get started. Alright, so like I said, this is the BMW R12, a Sidecar, the military version from IBG models. Never done one by them. It's a 2-in-1 kit, 1/35th scale. It is kit number 35002. If we look at the side of the box, we can see a few other offerings from IBG. I've never done anything from them, so this will be an interesting first model because it's a motorcycle. They always end up being a pain in the butt. So here we can see a little bit about the motorcycle. On the side, not a whole lot. I love that box art. It's very, very cool. They're at a crossroads. There's a tank, stranded in the background. Guy sitting in the sidecar with the MG, trying to get directions, figure out where they're going. So, anyways, let's dive into the box. So, of course, we got our instruction sheet. One bag of plastic with the decals in there. We will go ahead and start with the instructions. So, never having done an IBG models before, it'll be a new one for me, and we'll see how it plays out, how it goes, the assembly and whatnot. So here we have our sprue layouts on the front page. They got their symbols, of course, to tell you what to do during the assembly, so what's optional, what you should pick a version of, paint colors. And of course they give you here colors for Mr. Color, Model Master Acrylic, Humbrol, and Vallejo. So I'll probably use the Mr. Color. So on the first step, going in here, we have building up of the different wheels. They show you they're 5-piece wheels, so there's like a center, then the actual rim part, and then the outer part that sandwiches it, which is really nice. It makes it easy to paint, but we'll see how that fares out as far as the seams go between. So there's 4 different wheels to build, 3 of them for the actually go onto the motorcycle, and then the 4th one, probably this one, is for the spare, and they actually show you which steps they go to. Then in step 2 we start building the sidecar rather than the motorcycle itself. So there's the 2 halves that come together, and then there's like the bracing that goes underneath to attach it to the motorcycle that fits underneath. Here they tell you got to remove a little bit of plastic, and there's a few like hangers that go on and like a grab handle. So one thing that's really nice that I do like is they show you then the finished step over here, so you can see exactly what it's supposed to look like, and I wish more companies would do that. That way you can kind of see how things fit in the grand scheme of things. Step 3, then we add the fender, the wheel, they look like marker lights or like lights or something like that. The spare wheel goes up there, the seat fits in, and that's basically the sidecar complete. And then over here in step 4 we build up the motor. So you can see it's quite a few pieces, especially for a little motorcycle on 1/35th scale. So the engine is in 2 halves. Then you fit some details to the front of that, and the cylinder heads themselves are 2 pieces, and they go together on, and then the cylinder heads fit to that, and you get a pretty good looking engine when you're done with that. Step 5, then we adding a little bit more. So we have the intake. Yeah, pretty sure that's the intake. Piping. And looks like the filter, there's a couple options for that, and then you can see what it looks like there when it's all done. Step 6, we building the fuel tank. So it is a 3-piece. There's the lower half, top half, and then the cap. 7, we build 3 saddle bags. Step 8, just building the seat. Yeah, there's a little, I don't even know what that exactly is, but it looks like the seat like floats, like it's got a spring for the action. Step 9, something similar but of a different style. Going to the next page, we're building up the front fender, putting the 2 halves together. Step 11, I looked at the instructions earlier before I recorded this, of course, but this squiggle mess is kind of unnecessary. They could have expanded it out, showed the engine located and how the frames fit to that, and so on and so forth. That is a very messy looking step. Looking at it, you can figure out where everything goes, so I don't think it'll be an issue, but like, follow the line, you know, come on, that's pretty bad. And when you have that done, actually I guess that fender was for the back, then you got the engine and everything like that fit in there, and it'll look pretty good, I guess. Step 12, then we start fitting on some plumbing, some springs and stuff like that for the suspension, the rear rack, the plate mount light and stuff like that. Step 13, fitting some sideboards to rest your feet on and a few other little details. Here in some very, very late versions of it, they actually ditched the sideboards for just pegs. I think I'll probably opt to do the sideboards just because it looks a little different. Step 14, then we turn to the front suspension. We put the wheel onto the front fender and everything like that in the steering arms. Build that assembly up. Step 15, then we kind of go backwards real briefly, and we put the mufflers on as well as a saddlebag and put the seat, one of your choices of seats on the back of that for passenger. So that did explain why there was two of them. I was confused earlier. And then in step 16, we go back to the front and we put the front wheel on with the bracket to hold it on the top and then the handlebar. And actually going back up for a second to step 14, they actually show you E30 or A34 here. They tell you to fit it to use as an alignment jig for the arms, but do not glue it. That way later when you put it together finally, you can fit it on there. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, that's a nice way to do it, I guess. Step 17, again, then we kind of go backwards way to the start of it, back to the sidecar, fitting the MG on there if you want the MG with its mount, you know, the swivel and everything like that. It's a MG34. Step 18, then we finally fit the sidecar to the motorcycle itself with a couple struts to hold it in place. Step 19, if you choose to do it with the MG, then they also show you adding in the saddlebags to the front of that for extra ammo storage. And then not step, but the finished model then, in the final step, you can see what it looks like both without the MG and with the MG. And then over here we have a couple different marking options. So this one, served in Libya in 1942. This one in Bat Canny, I've never heard of that, 1942. This one from Germany, and then the final one in Russia. I don't like that it's just gray. I wish it was in color, but I get it because everything else is black and white. I mean, it can't be too hard to figure it out anyways, but most likely I'll end up doing this version here because why not? So opening the bag with the sprues in it then, to take a look at the decals first and foremost. There's just a tiny little sheet. They're printed by TechMod, whom I've never heard of. I mean, they look pretty good. We'll see how they actually go down. The only problem is, nope, okay, I do see the carrier film. I was thinking they were solid sheet of decals. It's just really hard to see because it's really glossy. My camera won't really focus, but everything is legible and clear. You'll have to take my word on that. So, first sprue out of the box is sprue M. Here we can see some of the fender detail, the seat detail, the MG is on there. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Everything looks nice and clean. Grab stuff here looks kind of chunky for the size, you know, oversized, but it's not too bad. And then the second sprue is sprue B. So we have the center hubs for the wheels, the handlebar down here, that's nice and thin, and actually the clutch and the brake grabs are very fine detail. And we got the sidecar, motorcycle frame itself, and some of the various pieces, the mufflers, the fuel tank, and so on and so forth there. Don't really see locating pins on anything. That'll be a pain. It's all flat on here, so you'll have to do some very careful gluing with that. No, I do see some locator pins there, so definitely not up to the same standards as what some of the other kits out there are, but I have a feeling it'll go together well. I mean, the detail looks great from what I can see. And the final sprue A, as you can see, we have our wheels, the outer parts, you know, the rubber itself, the seat for the sidecar, the frame for it and such like that. Here's the ammo bags, the saddle bags, engine detail, so it looks pretty good. Nice compressor. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed that unboxing. Relatively quick one, relatively simple model. I think it'll build up cool in the end. If you want to see better pictures of it, I will have them up on my website. There will be a link in the description down below. It's obviously video, you know, it's sometimes finicky, so check my website. You'll be able to see a full review there. Anyways, thank you for watching as always. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you all next time. Have a good one.